So we got a new DLC, and I just wanted to share my thoughts on it just because, there's a lot of discourse going around in the community, a lot of thoughts on the campaign, the whole leveling situation. I I just want to kind of give my thoughts on it. These aren't really um these are just going to be my opinion mostly. I do have some things I'd like to share at least. So also, there won't be really any background gameplay. I find it hard to talk and play the game, so forgive me for that. So just, I guess, enjoy the orbit music and my ship flying, I guess. Anyway, the campaign, I'll start with. I did like the campaign a bit. I know some people were saying how the gameplay was a little repetitive with the matter spark, the matter morph, and the teleporter. But I really didn't seem to get tired of it until like the final mission. I mean, it was a little exhausting, but by the final mission is when I started to, you know, just not like it as much. It wasn't too bad, but yeah, it kind of wore out its welcome. But story-wise, I did like the story. It. I was worried that this would be another Lightfall throwaway year type thing where like, okay, we need to, prep for whatever next thing we're gonna do, or we're gonna need to fund marathon or something. So we're just gonna, do a throwaway. We're not really gonna care about what we put into it, and kind of like what they did with Lightfall. Though I will say I I kind of get a feeling that part of Lightfall was taken from this. Like maybe they had the idea for this DLC to come after the final shape, but when they originally made the idea of stretching Lightfall into the final shape and making the actual final shape DLC instead of just going from Witch Queen to Lightfall and then we take out the Witness, I feel like they kind of took ideas from here and then brought them into Lightfall so they could just have like a buffer, you know. So yeah, that's kind of the feeling I kind of got. A lot of familiarities. It feels like, there's Titan assets here. I kind of see the reused stuff a little, but other than that, I like the campaign story wise. It wasn't stupid like Lightfall's. Sorry, but Lightfall's campaign was pretty stupid. But I like the story. It's setting up. It's kind of what Shadowkeep or more Beyond Light did. Yeah, I feel like Shadowkeep did it more, but we're setting up for the new saga. So I guess for the opening, saga defining expansion, this did pretty good story wise. Gameplay wise, I'm still torn, like I said, but or I don't know, I kind of liked it, I guess, till the end. But yeah. Next thing I wanted to cover was no seasonal model, and we didn't have a seasonal model last year, but it episodes were basically seasons. You're not going to change my mind on that. It essentially made the drip feed segmented. They just made it worse, in my opinion, with the episodes, but whatever. Seasonal. So like it sounds like there's a story here, but like, Armory Foundries support Guardians and Chartered stuff. So like all the portal stuff maybe, but then, when you look at seasonal conquest, these can only be done once and they're just for the conquest title. This is basically the new Grandmaster, I guess. So there really isn't any seasonal story. Like there's no, oh, Zavala, need your help, and 801, we need to, retake part of these things that are being overrun or something like that. No, it's just do stuff, I guess. There's no really. I guess the expansion is the season. That has me a little worried for Ash and Iron. Like, I kind of worrying they're just gonna do something minor, give us new stuff to grind, and then just leave us again. I will say this new seasonal model, I do like that it's much shorter. Like, this season's only, it was like 2 months when it started. Yeah, it was like 58 days or something like that. So, much shorter, so less wait time overall for new content drop, but it feels like we went from new stuff to an immediate content drought, and I don't really like that. We I don't think we've really ever had something like that as of recent, except for maybe I don't remember Forsaken very well. I was young. But yeah. Anyway, I don't like this new seasonal thing where like there's no story. Like something is better than nothing. At least with episodes at the seasonal model's worse. We had something every week for a little bit. Then again, I mean, like every season that comes with the DLC is always weak. I feel like think of season of Defiance, I believe it was called. People hated that season. It was pretty bland. Even with like season of the Risen was only really remembered well because of which Queen came out with it. So like, still, I don't know. I'm worried for the seasonal model at least. Like, it's important that the campaign does well and the seasons are at least engaging enough. Right now, the only engagement we have is the leveling, which I'll get to later. Um, Next, I want to talk about exotics. The new exotics we got, I think, are pretty underwhelming. Like, this one specifically, I feel like most people looked at it as the best of what we got, but I really don't like any of these exotics at all. Like, let me pull up the other ones. It's the um, what are they? There they are. So you like throw your hammer, and then you can call it back. But that could have easily been an aspect because you could have just done like you could throw your hammer and recall it with this aspect, and then they could have gotten the hammer strike to do something else too. Like same with the hunter thing, like with the threaded spike. You could have easily just given them something where they throw it into a tangle and then you can retrieve it and throw it. Like I'd rather them do that instead of like making it entire exotic for it, because I feel like with fragments you get to play around more with combining and then you can add an exotic on top of that. I just don't feel like this one really. Oh, they definitely could have done fragments. The only one you couldn't really turn into a fragment is obviously like, or the Hellion one. I mean, I guess you need something for Hellion, but sorry about that. So um, buffing Hellion. Hellion didn't really have any exotics to work with it, so I guess making something for it is okay, but not. I don't. I'd rather have fragments, if I'm being honest. Adds more playing variety. Let's talk about leveling now. So, the one thing all the streamers are complaining about is leveling up to 450 and then the grind that it takes and the time consuming aspect of it. And most people's arguments, and my initial argument was, well, it's supposed to be savored, so like you're not supposed to blow through it in 1 week by grinding the same thing over and over again. But at the same time, the loot you earn is tied to not only your guardian rank, but your plate level as well. So if you want the best loot, you have to be of high light level, essentially. And you need to be the guardian rank, of course. So if you really want to play and earn loot that matters, you need to be max light level, which kind of sucks. So I can kind of see now. I mean, I'm probably not going to grind all the way up. I do want tier 5 loot, obviously, but I don't think, honestly, that I want it that bad to waste all my time just grinding away Caldera or Kel's Fall or Starcrossed. So I don't know, I'm kind of torn. So on the topic of the loot, like the new stuff we've gotten, I do like how they're innovating with the the new weapon types. The bow, heavy bow, I haven't played around with it enough. Where even is it? Whatever. This one, no. Whatever, you know what I mean. The heavy bow is fun, hard hitting. It's supposed to just be, Wish Ender, but in legendary form. And I do think it has a place. At least I know you can generate like a crazy amount of orbs or something like that. So that's pretty cool. Another one I was interested in, but I haven't seen literally anybody talk about it or even obtain it. It's a Vice shotgun. It's a rapid fire slug. Looks pretty cool, but at the same time, I haven't seen anybody use it, so I have no idea. And then the last one, I don't quite remember. Shotgun hand cannons, that's what it is. Recently with Arms Week and stuff, they did that. I do like the shotgun hand cannons a lot. Mainly just for PvP. For PvE, it's a little too close range for my tastes. Like I'd rather have my primary be longer range, or even for this, it's not even that long of range. Like if I'm too far away, then I'm not dealing sufficient damage like if I were using a, say, like a SMG or a sidearm even. Like this one kind of falls short on that end, but in PvP I can basically have a shotgun at all times, because like if the main scenarios I see myself shotgunning is not like aping or anything, it's just, I like weaken someone as they're coming at me and then I quickly pull out my shotgun to clean them up most of the time in an ideal scenario when I'm actually playing decently. But really that's all I can think of for loot. Like, oh yeah, the pulse rifle, I almost forgot. I like the burst pulse rifle. Like the idea of rocket assisted anything is pretty cool. But Jesus, I'm blind. Oh, there it is. All right. The idea of rocket anything is pretty cool in my opinion. But if they were gonna take another step in another direction, I think maybe perhaps doing more of like the Wish Ender heavy bow situation, like making more archetypes out of from exotics. Like we could get fan fire hand cannons that aren't last word, which would be pretty cool. Like they gave us the aggressive frame scout rifles, and they were Dead Man's Tale. They could easily do that with hand cannons too. So that would hopefully be my future hopes for like any new stuff that we get weapon wise. Raid. I haven't done the new raid at all. I know it was really difficult on contest mode. I'm not really, top player, so I can't really give any input on how hard something should be. As an average player, I like for day one at least, I can't give you any input on that, honestly. But as an average player that just like wants to, get loot from the raid, first of all, I don't even really want to do it because like first of all, tier ones are only dropping, and I kind of want tier two loot now because I mean, think about it. And then the other reason is it's like why when you can just farm portal for levels right now. I'd rather be doing that, even though I'm never gonna get high enough to at least earn tier 5, but I'd spend hours and hours just for a couple pieces of loot at this point. Like, now that it's so leveling focused, if I'm doing something, it might as well be, working towards the level grind, honestly. So, overall, summarizing my thoughts, I think the DLC was okay. The leveling system needs some tuning. Like I don't really have any ideas of what they could do. I'm not really a game designer, obviously, so I can't give any, meaningful input on that, but I just think something needs to change to they could put raids in here. I feel like people would have more fun doing raids and like make raids a more substantial way to level grind as opposed to just Starcrossed or Caldera or K1 Logistics. As for exotics and fragments, I'm hoping instead of a new exotic with Ash and Iron, we get a fragment or, just something meaningful. Like, Void, I believe, is the only one on Warlock that doesn't have 4. Yeah. So we could definitely get another fragment. We're due for one. The loot, I'm enthused with it. At least it's still good. Like, a damage perk and incandescent on a bow. I don't believe you could get that before. So that's pretty cool. So the loot's still getting better. And, I'm just hoping the seasonal model is maybe a little better. So yeah, that's basically my thoughts, and thank you for watching.